Hi there, Jane from Aplos here. I just wanted to record a process to hopefully be helpful for you. You might be coming to contribution statement season and you just need a little help generating those contribution statements, see where to go and the options that you have. Or you might be coming to a point where you have a lot of contributions. Maybe you've fallen behind on entering those. We have an import tool to help do a mass import of those contributions. So that might be a helpful option for you. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to show you around those options in Aplos and just show you some tips and tricks to make things just a little bit more streamlined and easy for you whenever you get to that point in your year. So for most people, contribution statements are generated and mailed sometime in January. Those are typically due by the end of January. You might find that you like to send statements out maybe quarterly or in the middle of the year just to let people know where they're at. So you have that option as well. You might also be an organization that allows people to pledge gifts. So they have an amount of money that they promise to you. So you create a pledge and you might want to generate a pledge statement, which is different from a contribution statement. That pledge statement's basically just showing them what their balance of their pledge is. So we have some options. So again, I just wanted to show you those and just kind of make things easier for you. So first of all, let's go over the idea that you might have fallen a little bit behind and have a lot of donations to enter. Maybe you're just getting started with Aplos, so you want to bring in a ton of contributions, whatever it is. I'm going to show you the contributions import tool. So here I am on my dashboard. I'm going to click donations and then click contributions. So this is my contributions page. Some of these may be linked to accounting. If they are, you'll see that here. Some may not. If they are not, let's see if I can find one. You're going to have a checkbox where you can click that contribution and deposit it. Doesn't look like I have any, so I'll show you that once we import some contributions. As a quick note, you have the option at the bottom of this page to expand your view of how many contributions you see per page. So maybe you only want to see 25 at a time. You can toggle that to minimize that page view a little bit. So if you want to import some contributions, you're going to click down on this little caret and click import. I already have some that I've brought in before, imported before, but if you need to still import, which you most likely do, you're going to go ahead and click this download a sample Aplos contributions file, and that's going to download a file to your downloads folder. That file is going to look like this, and you'll want to follow this template to bring in those donations. So typically what I do is I'll highlight this legend once I'm good to go. This, though, you'll want to look over it just to make sure that you're filling in the information on each field accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So be sure that you don't mess with any of the spacing here or this extra column because it's needed to recognize this file when you import. I'm going to show you one that I have already formatted. Here we go. This is a list of my 2018 contributions from January to May. So I have a list of each date, each donor, each purpose that they've given to, and their amount. A note here could be something that you might want to remember about the contribution. A reference ID could be maybe their check number. Expense amount would be, let's say you still receive donations through, let's say, an online donation processor like Stripe. Each online donation has a transaction fee that's taken out of it for processing. So you'd put the amount of that fee here. NTD amount would be, let's say someone purchased a ticket to attend your fundraiser, and let's say it was $100 that they wrote the check for, but the dinner at the fundraiser was $25. So 25 of that 100 would be non-tax deductible because it is a good or a service for paying for that meal. And then an acknowledged status is basically, did you thank the donor? Do you still need to, or are you not going to? So there's acknowledged, unacknowledged, and dismissed. So once you have your file, you'll go ahead and save it to your computer, and then you're literally going to drag and drop it here. So what that's going to do is populate this page here. I've already done it, and so here is from my previous file upload. Here are more donations that I still have to import. So these were on my file, I imported it, and this is my pending page of donations that need to be entered still. If they are on this page, this manual contributions import page, they have not been imported into Aplos, and therefore the donor has not received credit for their donation. So just a heads up on that. So you can maximize your page here. I have 145 to enter, so I can do up to 100. So now it's showing me 100 of my 145. So here they all are, a good chunk of that import that I have to bring in. So from here, you have your list of donations, your donors, their date, their name, their purpose, and their amount. So you would check this box here and you'd click import selected. You can hide selected if you maybe accidentally imported some that you don't need to bring in, and you can also search. So what I'm going to do just for the sake of this tutorial is I'm going to limit it to 10 because I don't really want to bring in all of these to my test account. I'm going to select the box for these 10 and I'm going to click import selected. Are you sure you want to? I am sure. So this gives me another batch of 10, but I'm going to show you now that I've imported those 10 what it looks like. So those were for May 15th, and I have some donations further after May 15th. So how I'm going to show you those is I'm going to click on this deposited dropdown and click undeposited, and then click search. So here's that group of 10. So let me tell you a little bit about your options here. So what I've done already is I've imported these 10 donations, which now that I've imported them from the manual contributions import page, I have successfully applied these donations to these donors. So this list of 10 donors, if I were to look at my donations by contact report, I would see their donations on May 15th and one on April 15th. At this point, these donations are not applied to your accounting. If you needed to not only import these donations to give your donors credit, but also show it as a deposit on the accounting side, you would need to do what we call depositing the contribution. So what that looks like is you have this checkbox to select all, but maybe let me not select this April 15th one, because let's say I took these May 15th contributions, and when I received them, I went to the bank the next day and I deposited them. And then let's say that this April 15th one is part of a different deposit that I took to the bank back in April. So if I'm just going to import these May 15th contributions, I have the box checked for all 9 of those, and I'm going to click Create Deposit. What that's going to do is that's going to take those 9 donations and put them in a contribution deposit form. So now I have a total of $1,425, and this amount is going to show as a deposit in the asset account that I choose here. Here you have my donation date. So we could use this as an example. You might have had your event that brought in all these donations on May 15th, but maybe you didn't get around to taking them to the bank until, let's say, May 18th. So your deposit in accounting will show as May 18th, but the donor will get credit as of this date, May 15th. So the contribution statement is going to show Alex Acree has a donation on May 15th of $250. But in my accounting, the deposit's going to show the income's going to hit as of May 18th. So hopefully that makes good sense. You're going to choose your bank account here. If you had any expenses, then you'd choose your expense account. Again, that would be like if you were bringing in a list of online donations or something like that. And then I'm going to click Save. So remember that's $1,425. Now, going over to my register, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here is, let me change that register because I had general checking. And then let me bump over to May 15th. Here is sorry, I forgot I did that date, May 18th. So that was the May 18th date. That's the day I took it to the bank. The total is $1,425. If I click here, it's going to show the breakdown on the income side of things, any tags, if you have any tags on those purposes. So it's splitting it out by income account and fund according to what you've linked your purposes to. And here's that total deposit. I can click this source contribution link to take me back to that batch to see that information all over again. So again, May 15th, May 18th was my deposit amount. So super easy, probably one of the easier things that you'll do in Aplos is importing those contributions. You might run into a little bit of trouble formatting your spreadsheet. If you do, feel free to reach out to our team. We can help out. All right, so let's say you are up to date. You have all your contributions in Aplos and you're ready to generate contribution statements. So here is where you'll do that. You'll click Reports. You're going to see your donation reports down here. So you'll have donations by contact, donations by household. I mentioned pledges before. Here's the pledges by contact to kind of get that statement out to show what remaining amount someone owes on a pledge. So you can generate that. We're going to go over donations by contact and donations by household. So if I click on donations by contact, I have some filtering options. I can choose a date range, so a custom range, this month, last month, and so on. I can choose report filters, so I can say, set a threshold to maybe say, only show me donation totals above $100. This threshold is up to you. You can send a contribution statement out for anyone who donated any amount throughout the year, or you could give a contribution statement only to people who donated a certain amount or more. You can filter this by purpose, filter it by contacts, whether you wanted to see contribution statements for just a group of people. Maybe you want to see contribution statements of who, show me only individuals who donated, show me only businesses who donated. You can also filter by fund and account. Your layout options are going to show you contacts who are in households or not, show you details, which let me show you, is basically going to take the total and break it out into individual donations. So here's, Alex has a couple donations recorded on May 15th and a total of $1,350. Before that was just showing the total. When I click details, it splits it out into the multiple contributions. You also have show contact info. So this would be to see what's their address, phone number, email address if you have it. Alex's has that listed here. These don't. So that'll be a snapshot to see who has contact information applied to their contact. And just for some clarity, when I say contact, you're going to see that in your people tab. So you're going to have a contact list of anyone who has that you've either imported into Aplos, anyone who has donated or is a vendor maybe. So this is Alex's contact. We've looked at him a couple times. You can see a list of his contributions here. You can even generate a contribution statement or download or email it from here. So let's go back to that report though. I want to finish up showing you how to generate those contribution statements. So from here, I want to generate contribution statements for this year. Here in Extra Actions, I have the option to print or email those statements. Let's show printing them. So I have the option to show a summary or detailed view. So the detailed is going to give a list of each contribution individually. I can show those by purpose and fund or account or both. I can have my logo on there, and then I can say print only statements for contacts that do not have an email address, because then I can email the others. So let's say I'm going to print them, and that's going to give me a download right here of a page per statement. So here is first Aaron's, and then Alboris has a contribution statement, and then here we are Alex's. We've used him as an example so far throughout this whole thing. So here is his total throughout the year. Here is how that's broken down by purpose, and then the individual contribution statements. So I can print these off. It's going to give me a page or more if they have more detail than just one page. Then I can fold these, stick them in a double window envelope, and mail them. If I wanted to email them, I'm going to click Email Statements. This is going to give me the option to attach a PDF to the email. If you don't attach a PDF, then they just log into their donor profile and print the contribution statement from their donor profile. You can choose the from email address. If you don't have an email address that is at your organization's name.com, let's say it's at Gmail or at Hotmail or at Yahoo, we'd recommend using this comms@aplos.com email address. Reason being is that those Gmail or Yahoo, if you send from those, most likely those aren't going to be delivered because the mail server will mark it as spam and it'll never go through. So that's why we've given you this comms@aplos.com sending email so that you can make sure that those do make it through. But you can assign your reply back email here. So it may come from comms@aplos.com, but if they clicked reply, it's going to come back to this email address. Say, change your email subject line, put information here. You'll have these, I don't know what to call them, options to put in to say, hey, dear first name. I would say if you're not including the PDF, don't get rid of this link option, because the link is what they'll need to click to log into their donor profile in order to generate their contribution statement. So you've got these pre-filled options that'll pull in based on the contact, and then click email and it's going to send those out. It'll tell you you've emailed this many people. Do you want to print the rest? Say yes to print the rest and you can mail those. So one more contribution statement option is donations by household. We recently added household functionality to where if you have a husband and a wife or a family or something like that, you can create a household for them, put all of the contacts in that household, and generate a contribution statement for that single household. So let's say here I have the Doe family, which is made up of, whoops, I do this every time. I want to show details here. Sorry about that. Okay, it's made up of Jane Doe and John Doe. Surprise, surprise. So they have donations recorded to each of them individually, but if you generate this donations by household report, it'll allow you to generate a statement for just the household. So one statement for $450 for that household itself. So that way you don't have to send two contribution statements to the same address, one to Jane, one to John. Instead, you just generate the contribution statement to the Doe family. So let's play that out. Here you go. I clicked extra actions, I clicked print contribution statements, and now I'm going to click print. So here is the one statement to the Doe family. If I had an address on their contact, it would show here. It's going to show those two contributions and the total of $450. So you could print or email that if they had an email address. Super easy. One thing I want to point out that I think I've gone a little quickly over is this option to apply a message. So you can say whatever you want. Thank you so much for your generous contribution, and on and on and on. So that will print on the contribution statement. All right, so that goes over how you can import contributions so that you stay up to date on those. You can also just record those manually. So you might have donations that you receive. Let's say you're a church and every Sunday you're recording your tithes and offerings. Just do that in a batch once a week and you're golden. So if you keep up on that throughout the year, you won't have to play catch up. So that's an option to record those donations just throughout the year. We've gone over importing contributions if you have to do some catch up. We've gone over generating those contribution statements, whether printing or emailing them. So you have a ton of tools in your tool belt now to make your year-end process a little bit easier. If you ever have any questions, our team is always happy to help. You'll see this little chat bubble here at the bottom. This is a messaging system to send a message straight to one of our team members. So feel free, if you have any questions, go ahead and send us a message. We're happy to answer that for you and give you any information that you need. Well, I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that it helps make that year-end process a little bit easier for you. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. But thanks for joining me, and hope you have a great day.